Good morning everyone. Today we're looking at another Invicta Pro Diver's watch. Very common model name that is for their Invicta range. It's probably one of the most popular ranges for that company. So yeah, before I actually look onto that though, we're going to have a brief look at that box it comes in. So the Invicta box is just usually a standard yellow with this sort of sunburst ray sort of expanding out sun ray thing on the top of the actual box, and that plain black embossed Invicta logo, invincible in detail strapline on the front of the box. Looking at the watch I've got on today is the Fossil FB01 Pepsi. Done a review of this in a couple of videos back, I believe. Feel free to check that out if you get a chance. It's a great little Pepsi if you want one for under £100 and a quartz one. But for today's purpose, we're going to be looking at this watch here, which is the Invicta Pro Diver Sprite 42mm 29177. What I love about Invicta is their choice of cushion when it comes to boxing up watches. Usually it's one of the sort of the hardest cushions to get out of the box because it just grips onto the box really nicely. It offers really good quality as well. It's probably one of the best presented cushions for as watch companies go. So here we go guys, this is the Invicta Pro Diver 29177, also known as the Invicta Sprite, on a Jubilee strap. So this watch sits at 42mm with a case thickness of 14.2mm, retails at just shy of £150. Yeah, so it's just an initial look at the watch. Probably weighs about 150 grams. It's probably about the average sort of weight for this kind of style of watch. It takes its look after the Rolex black and green GMT, also known as the Rolex Sprite. So it's a common name that goes across the black and green theme. So having a little initial look at the face here, we can see that we've got a plain black, non-sunray style plain black backplate here to the actual face, with your obviously detailing down here as well, and fully luminous hands, copying the same sort of style as a Rolex would, and the same sort of style increment system with the dots, rectangles and triangles to match that Rolex sort of GMT style watch. You also notice you've got a green GMT hand there that sweeps around the face with quite a deep luminous dot element in there. Usually the circle on a GMT is back a little bit more on the second hand, and you've got fully luminous logo there as well, I believe, and a Cyclops side to show that date there. So it's waterproof to 20 atmospheres and offers a 22mm Jubilee band. Looking at the bezel here, we've got a plain, well not plain, but a black and green themed Sprite style bezel using a 2010 number theme. So if you were, what I mean by this is if you were to say look at a 2020 a 2020 GMT would have thicker numbers slightly, and more of a new sort of style bezel. But if you were to look at say a 2000 or 2010 GMT Rolex, you would see the numbers are slightly thinner, slightly less bold, and this is what this sort of theme it follows, those sort of numbers. Bezel is unidirectional with a decent clicking mechanism into it. You can actually hear a decent clicking mechanism in there. There's a little bit of play on moving it back as well. So let's put this back to default position so it's coming around the casing here, you've got a mirror finish chrome style stainless steel casing here with the Invicta engraved on the actual side. That's very common for their brand image, but not often seen on a lot of other brands. So you obviously got that serrated backplate to the actual bezel as well, and you've got coming down to where it meets the Jubilee strap, you've obviously got that brushed and chrome stainless steel finish to it. I believe it's 904 stainless steel if you want to know that. Looking at the crown, it's got a screw down mechanism, as you can imagine, because it's automatic, and an excellent moving system to that as well. Not much sound heard from that, which shows there's a sign of good quality there. Got an excellent popper when it comes out. Trying to get it to change the date. these can always be funny when automatic ones. They can always be funny when you change the date. It's got a fairly decent crown movement to it, and a very, very strong second click position, so the hands don't fly around the face when you're trying to change the time. There's just a decent amount of movement to it, nothing too flimsy, nothing too harsh. Go around the back. We've obviously got that skeleton style transparent back plate there with the Invicta printing around the side, and a full Jubilee strap adjustable with punching pins, not screws. Actually, there might be screws. I'm just going to check. No, they are punching pins. Sometimes you can have what looks like punching pins, but they're actually Jubilee screws. Coming down to the casing, you've got a double fold over clasp with a safety buckle system. Not going to take that out, I'm just going to keep it brand new. And adjustable with links on the sides, as you can see here. So plenty of options to adjust the watch and plenty of options to adjust the clasp as well. So let's have a look at this on. So there we go, guys, that is the Invicta Pro Diver Sprite 42mm 29177.